Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The time is now 10:17, and I am here with you today, this morning on P Stars Radio. My name is Brother Ricky. Now, let me just start off with this, right? Allow me to just start off with this. I wanna keep it. How can I say this? From a rumor's perspective, I want to keep this nice, simple, and sweet, should I say, right? Nice, simple, and sweet. So, start this off. We're gonna give you a lot of rumors, right? That is taking place in the NBA regarding trades, right? Trades, contract signings, contract extensions, contract max extensions, all those things, right? Now, we still haven't gone into starting the regular season of the NBA, right? We're only a few or a couple weeks out until the preseason of the NBA. So, I'll start off with this for we'll say with, certain players getting signed into certain teams after coming out of free agency. So we start off with Marquise Morris. If any of you are familiar with the Morris twins, we have one of the twin brothers by the name of Marquise Morris, or Marcus Morris, excuse me, who will be signing with the New York Knicks. So with the stats that we have so far with Morris, we have him with, and this is for the season of 2023 and 2024, we have him with 2.5 points per game, 1.5 rebounds per game, 0.6 assists per game, and he has concluded that season with 33.8 field goal percentage. Now, with this kind of stat for Marquise Morris, this is a center kind of player, right? The player the player type that Marquise is a center position player. I'll probably put him in the power forward position as well, but for his build and for his playmaking abilities, I put him at the center position. And with the stats that we have so far, I don't know how I feel. To be honest with you, I don't truly know how I feel about him playing alongside Julius Randle and Julius Randle, Josh Hart, Jalen Brunson. I don't know how I feel about the dynamic with Marquise Morris being included into the roster. Granted, I'm not exactly sure what the minutes will be like looking for him coming into the regular season of the NBA, right? Because I don't think he's going to be taking part in the preseason of the NBA, but definitely in the regular season for sure. But with him being now included into the roster of the New York Knicks, it does kind of seem a little bit off-putting because it seems bad enough now with the way that Julius Randle has been contributing to the team last season, right? Two centers, one who's been there long enough but has not been putting in enough, I would say, enough intensity going into last season's playoff run with the New York Knicks. So much weight was being left on Jalen Brunson, where he was carrying the team so much to the point where you would expect Julius Randle to be a lot more of a support system for Jalen Brunson to at least make it to the finals, because they made it as far as to go to the playoffs, right? The New York Knicks, but they never made it into the advancement in the finals. So to now add Marcus Morris into the group, I really don't know how I feel about that decision. But hey, there's only one way to find out. There's only one way to see exactly what Marcus will contribute onto the roster, considering the stats that we have for him for last season. So I want to see what you guys' thoughts are on that, because I, for one, maybe any other team but the New York Knicks, I don't know, you could probably send them off to maybe Charlotte. maybe, I don't know. But New York Knicks, I feel like they just need to keep putting in more effort into building a team with you know, the New York Knicks, and keeping Julius Randle's at least motivated as much to continue to push to a finals run, not just a playoffs run. Because again, last season's performance for Julius Randle, at least in the playoff sense, was not really up to par like I thought it would be. But hey, that's just me. All right, so we're gonna move on to Isaac Okoro of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Isaac Okoro has just signed a 3-year max deal, or maybe not a max deal, but a 3-year deal with the Cavs, of signing a $38 million contract after coming out of restricted free agency. Now, for Isaac Okoro's stats for last season, we have 9.4 points per game, 3% rebounds per game, 1.9 assists per game, and he had a 49% field goal percentage. He also had a 39.1% three-point percentage. Now, Isaac Okoro, he's fine exactly where he's at. Isaac Okoro is extremely perfect where he's at least in my opinion, because he's been playing very well ever since him being drafted back in 2020, contributing so much to the group of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now that they added who was it again? Was it David? How could I forget his name? Well, for all of you that know his nickname, Spider. That's how they refer to him, Spider, right? But having Damian Mitchell to the group, right, playing alongside the Cleveland Cavaliers, they have so much of an advantage of making it into the finals, because they could have done this even last season, right? But because of the injury that he suffered, right? Because of the injury that Spider suffered coming into the playoff series, and I'm hoping that you all know who I mean when I say Spider. That is his nickname, for the Cleveland Cavaliers. But after him suffering his injury, everybody all of a sudden just threw their hands up and say, you know what, Cleveland Cavaliers is not going to advance to the finals, because the way that Davion Mitchell has suffered his injury, it is a very big obstacle for the team to advance anywhere at that point, because he is a very important piece of the puzzle to the team. And now with Isaac Okoro a part of that team as well, with him contributing the way he has contributed to this team, I think that this contract that he just signed was a very well-deserved contract, because the stats that he has up, the percentage that he puts up in the three-point range, field goal percentage, all these are great numbers, right? Great numbers for this player playing into this franchise with the Cleveland Cavaliers. So I think this is a well-deserved contract. $38 million, that is a lot of money for all of you who do not know. Any millions is a lot of money, but $38 million for this specific player is well-deserved in my book, at least. So we move on to Jimmy Butler. Now, honestly, I'm still trying to figure out where Jimmy Butler could possibly be going, right, into this upcoming season in the NBA, right? What team could Jimmy Butler possibly be going to after leaving the Miami Heat? Because I personally think he should stay. Now, granted, ever since 2020 and the Miami going to the going into the finals, going up against the Lakers, right? That was a time where, in my opinion, the Miami Heat has been playoff contenders and finals contenders, because they also went back to the finals again, was it 2022, right? 2022 going up against the Nuggets, and they lost that finals as well. So they lost against the Lakers back in 2020, and then in 2022 going up against the Denver Nuggets, they lost the finals then as well. So The Heat are playoff contenders and finals contenders, but they just can't seem to seal the deal. Now, I don't know if that's the case or the reason why Jimmy Butler has decided to make his exit from the team, but I've heard talks of him maybe getting a couple phone calls from the Golden State Warriors, right? And I've heard or I've seen, certain, articles and talks about him feeling comfortable playing with the Brooklyn Nets. Now, I'm still trying to figure out in my mind where Jimmy Butler could possibly land to continue off his career in the NBA to potentially get himself a ring with whichever team that he chooses to go to. Again, I think he personally should stay. I think that if he continues to play alongside Bam Adebayo, right, continues to play alongside Tyler Hero, and try to with the existing players that they have on the roster now, right? Because they've just drafted a rookie into the team, which was Khalil Ware, right? And he seems to have promise, right? He seems to have promise. He seems to have talent. He's been putting up scores in the summer league, right? And right after the Miami Heat won the summer league, playing with Khalil Ware. I think if they continue to build this core group with the Heat and Jimmy Butler staying, him playing alongside Jaime Jaquez Jr., Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero, right, Khalil Ware, I think they could do something. I really think they could do something because, again, this Miami Heat team is a playoff contender and is a finals contender, right? They've done this twice in the past 5 years now, right? It seems every year, starting from 2020, right? Every year it seems they've been making it to the playoffs, right? The only issue is them sealing the deal and actually winning an NBA Finals championship. So it just seems to be the case to me that it's just crossing over my mind right now. I want to know exactly what you guys think about this as well. Where do you guys possibly think that Jimmy Butler could be going to join whichever team for the regular season? Because we have a few weeks until the preseason of the NBA starts, and then a few weeks after, or maybe 2 or so weeks after, where the regular season will start of the NBA. So let me know what your guys' thoughts are on that. I personally think, again, Jimmy Butler should stay. Give it another shot. Give it another chance to see what they could do this NBA season. And if it doesn't work out, then by all means, a man's got to do what he's got to do. Go out there, join a team, you know what I'm saying, the team that you think is optimal for you to get a chance at winning an NBA Finals championship. Everybody wants a ring. Everybody wants an NBA ring. Heck, I want an NBA ring, even though I'm not in the NBA. I see myself in the NBA, and I want that ring. Watching across the TV screen, with whichever NBA team that's going to the finals, I'm picturing that ring on my finger as well. What, Michael Jordan has 6 rings right now? I picture myself with 6, maybe 10 rings from NBA Finals championships. So again, Jimmy's gonna do what he's gotta do, but I just think he should give it another shot with the Miami Heat and see what they can do for this NBA season. We're going to move on to Mac McClung. And this player here has been a back-to-back NBA All-Stars slam dunk champion in a row. Right? I've seen this man do some slam dunk contests, and this man is very, 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 very entertaining to watch when it comes to slam dunk contests, because this man is very creative with the way that he does slam dunks, and he seems very reckless too. But only certain elite players can do that, and Mac McClung seems to be one of the elite players that can do very entertaining and very creative slam dunks. But this player here has now signed to the Orlando Magic, who will now be playing alongside Paolo Banchero, players like Cole Anthony, playing alongside Jalen Suggs, and players like those. So this is a very interesting look for the Orlando Magic because this team has also gone to the playoffs last season as well, and they've also had a very, very, very good record, ending off in last season NBA, and it was very, very surprising to me. It really was, because I would think that they would probably be like the 5th, 6th seed. No offense, but this team has been very talented last season. They've only had their exit last season in the playoffs. I think they lost against the Cavs in the playoff series. They lost against the Cavs in the playoff series, and they couldn't advance any further. But I'm excited to see what they're gonna do this season because again, last season's record that they had in the NBA was very, very good. I think they were the first seat in the East. I think the first or the second seat in the East. They finished off that way, but I think that they're showing us that they were not to be taken lightly and to be taken serious. And I think with them adding Mac McClung onto their roster, I don't know how they're going to do it, though, because, the division of the minutes that they want to, spread out with each player. I don't know how they're going to do this. There's only one way to see throughout the regular season of the NBA, but, in time we will see that. But with him being added and included onto the roster, we get to see what he will contribute, playing alongside players like Paolo Banchero, again, Cole Anthony, Jalen Suggs, so on and so forth. So I can't wait to see that. I'm going to give you guys, before I do that, Joel Embiid, who is a former MVP, of course, as we all know. Joel Embiid of the Philadelphia 76ers has also signed a 3-year max contract extension to stay with the Philadelphia 76ers, and he just signed a $193 million contract to continue to play alongside the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, I think he's made a tweet or maybe an Instagram post saying that he wishes to continue to stay with the Philadelphia 76ers for the rest of his career. Now, the only few players that I know that's still playing with the same team up until this point now is, I believe, Curry, because Curry is still playing with the Golden State Warriors ever since he's been drafted onto the team. So Curry is 1. Joel Embiid is 2. Who else has played with a team for one team? I can't think of any other players right now who's only stick by with one team and has never switched from team to team. But it seems to be so far that Stephen Curry and Joel Embiid are 2 players so far who stick by one team and hasn't, hopped from one team to another. Now, every player has their reason as to why they're going to switch from team to team. But again, so far it seems to be that these 2 players are the only 2, for better words, loyal to their teams, loyal to their franchise, to stay with them for that long and not switching to a different team. So props to Joel Embiid. I hope he continues to have a prosperous career playing alongside the Philadelphia 76ers. And I've also heard, too, it was just in that Philadelphia and their mayor were thinking about switching their franchise and putting them in a different location, if you all understand what I'm saying. So there were talks about moving the franchise, the Philadelphia 76ers, moving their franchise to a different location. But it just so happens that a mayor has come to a conclusion to keep the Philadelphia 76ers franchise in Philadelphia. I don't know what the issue was with keeping them there and, potentially having them move to a different state. But it seems to be so far that they're going to stay exactly where they are, so they're not going anywhere. So for all the Philly fans that were worried about the 76ers going on to a different location or going off somewhere else, don't worry, do not panic. They're not going anywhere. They're staying exactly where they are, and you all can, how can I say this, continue to enjoy watching your favorite players exactly where they are without going anywhere. So that was that right there. And again, I don't see why they would want to move the Philadelphia 76ers to a different location. There's probably something that I don't know. I might have to look more deeper into it. But yeah, it so happens to be the case that Philadelphia, the 76ers franchise, will be staying exactly where they are in Philadelphia. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to concluding results of the NBA, not the NBA, the WNBA games that happened yesterday. It's between the Chicago Sky and Connecticut, with the concluding score of 54-87. The Los Angeles Sparks going up against Minnesota, with the concluding score being 68-51. Seattle and Phoenix with 89-70. Indiana Fever and Washington with 91-92. That was a close game. 91-92. Whew, that was a close game. But unfortunately, Indiana Fever has lost that one. But it was 91-92. And then Dallas versus New York Liberty being 84-70. Now, with the WNBA seeming like it's coming over to an advancement to the WNBA playoffs, then going off into the WNBA finals, it's very clear here, because I brought this up last show, right? It's very clear here that the front runners for Rookie of the Year and MVP are clear as day. Clear as day. I brought this up to you already before last show, right? Where I told you that Caitlin Clark is going to get the Rookie of the Year awards. It's wraps. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry at the same time. Again, if you don't know who Caitlin Clark is, you're probably living under a rock. For all I know. I don't know why you wouldn't know who Caitlin Clark is. But Caitlin Clark is, as we already should know, a very talented player, just now being drafted into the league with her rookie season. And again, it's clear with her stats, her accomplishments, having triple-doubles already in her rookie season. It's clear as day that Caitlin Clark is going to get Rookie of the Year. All right, with Cameron Brink being out for her injury and Angel Reese being out for her injury as well, because these were like the top three front runners who I see would be contenders for the Rookie of the Year awards. But since Cameron Brink and Angel Reese are out for the rest of the season and Caitlin Clark still playing, it seems to be the case that Caitlin Clark is the one who's going to be, taking this year's Rookie of the Year awards, hands down. And then for the MVP awards, for those of you who don't know, Asia Wilson of the Las Vegas Aces is also clear as day going to be the one who's going to take the MVP awards home. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. She is a beast. Asia Wilson is a beast. For her last season stats, right? Because she's had multiple finals appearances, right, in the WNBA, playoff appearances in the NBA, and she's also won a Finals MVP award in her career. But for last season, her stats look to be 26.9 points per game, 11.9 rebounds per game, 2.3 assists, and 1.8 steals per game. Now, her career stats, and this is her career stats from when she was drafted till the present, right? Her career stats look to be like this: 1,021 points per game, 451 rebounds per game, and 88 assists per game. She has nothing look, Asia Wilson is nothing short of a baller, hooper, just all-around fiend in that court, right? And, of course, if you've already watched her during the Olympics, you've already seen what she can do. She won the MVP for the Olympics, and that was by no surprise. But this girl is talented as can be. And she is clearly, just like Caitlin Clark, she is clearly the front runner to win this year's MVP award, right? The season is not over yet, right? It seems like they're about to get ready to get into the playoff series sometime soon, and then going off to the finals, WNBA Finals series, right? But A'ja Wilson is the clear and front runner for this year's MVP. She's too talented to not get this. She is too much of a hooper to not get this. I think she deserves this, and she will. Mark my words. She will get this MVP for the WNBA. Because I can't think of who else could get this. I mean, I could probably think of Sabrina Ionescu. I'm not going to say Brittany Griner. But I could probably think of Sabrina. And really, that's it. That's really all there is to it. Maybe Sabrina can be another contender for this MVP. But other than that, A'ja is definitely getting this MVP for sure. Because, like I said before, she's very talented. She has raw skill, raw talent, and I hope if not a NBA final, not NBA, if not a WNBA Finals MVP, I hope she gets a regular season WNBA MVP because she really deserves it. She's really talented, and she's shown out her skills throughout the entirety of not just this season's WNBA, but ever since the start of her season in the WNBA, ever since she was drafted up until now. So, yeah, I think she's definitely getting the WNBA for sure. And I, for one, cannot wait to see this. Now, I will leave with you. That is all for the news of sports. And as per usual, I will leave with you a Bible verse, right? And this Bible verse will be coming from Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5 through 6, right? The Bible verse will be coming from Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5 through 6. And it reads, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understandings. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your path." Allow me to repeat it for you one more time. Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5 through 6, and it reads, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your path." Guys, listen. In whatever you are doing, whatever you're trying to accomplish, right? Whatever obstacle that might be facing you, always remember to trust God. Things may seem confusing. Things may seem out of the ordinary. You're confused. You don't know what's going on. Things just seem to be hectic in your life right now. Could be family life, friend life, school life, work life, whatever life. Always remember to trust God because, as we all know, God is all-seeing, all-knowing, and he's everywhere, right? God knows all things. He knows things that we don't even know. And it is very important that we keep our faith and keep our trust in him. Why? Because we ourselves don't know what we are doing. If we are honest with ourselves, if we are honest, because I'm honest with myself, I have no clue what I'm doing, especially on my own. If I'm doing things on my own and I don't have any clue of what I'm doing, I understand that God knows more than I do. He knows better than me. He knows what I need. He knows what I want. He knows what I'm trying to accomplish. And if I trust him, no matter the circumstances, right? No matter how things may seem to be confusing, no matter how things may seem to be crazy, no matter how things may seem to be hectic in life, if I keep my trust in him, I know that everything will work out for my good. Regardless. And nobody can stop this either. Nobody can stop what God has planned for me. And that is why it is important for me, and not just me, but for all of you that are listening, to keep your trust in God through any circumstances, regardless of what it may be, because God has our best interest at heart, and he's only looking out for our good. So remember this. Whether it's the good times, the bad times, or any times, really, always remember to trust God. Keep your trust in Him. Do not waver. Do not falter. Do not fold. Do not buckle when times get tough. Keep your trust in God, and He'll pull you out of almost. I said almost. He'll pull you out of anything, regardless of what it is. Keep your faith in Him. Trust Him, and watch and see what He'll do for you in the long run. All right. I love you guys, and I will see you guys again next Friday around the same time as usual. And yeah, I'll see you then. Adios.